Today I'll be reacting to Battersea Power Station in London. Battersea Power Station is just one of those kind of iconic things, isn't it? The scale is just immense. You can't really understand it from photos. When you go there, you're just dwarfed by it. I mean, I remember a point when they were doing the refurbishment, when it was on site, and I remember travelling into London and there was more tower cranes on the site for the refurbishment than there was in all of Edinburgh at that point doing development work. It was wild. Initially, I mean, it was turbine halls, it was a power station. So to have a building that big that somehow has character and presence, I think is really interesting. It's not just a single massive slab. It's red brick. There's texture, there's this kind of small module turned into this colossal thing. There's ornament. I think it's amazing in that setting of what it was. It obviously became absolutely iconic in the kind of London skyline before it was redeveloped. And now it's probably one of the kind of best examples of genuine adaptive reuse, isn't it? It's now got offices, hotels, shopping malls, all manner of kind of different tourist experiences. You can go up one of the chimneys in this kind of express lift to get a 360 view of London. It's gone from this, initially a power station, into then this absolutely derelict building that was falling down, and bits of it did fall down, now into this kind of anchor of an entirely redeveloped quarter of London. It's in that sense, it's amazing. This is a building that it's all about power. It's all about solidity. When you look at it from the outside, you've got these huge towers with the chimneys. We don't often think of power stations as being beautiful things, but actually in a sense it is. Giles Gilbert Scott was the architect and was involved in that. I think he was brought in, wasn't it, to kind of placate the people of London about this massive power station being built. And here's a guy that you've heard of who does Gothic and Gothic revival. So, I mean, not Gothic in that sense, but there's a real power to it. There's a real kind of symbolism of London that's come from it. And then when you go in it now, Wilkinson were the kind of architects behind the redevelopment of it. When you go into that space now, there's still a sense of that. There's a sense of that drama. There's the kind of huge steelwork. I think they've reconditioned the control room so it's still there. So there's a sense of that heritage and what it was, but there's also a really beautiful set of kind of new restaurants and shops inserted in it. The way they've kind of converted the roof levels into these apartment blocks and a hotel with open space. Again, it's a really clever project. I think it's been done really, really successfully. A building of this scale always has challenges, doesn't it? It's such a kind of huge thing. So workforce, finance, materials, all those kind of things. And yes, when they built it, it was a different era in many ways, and they maybe weren't as concerned by many of the things that we are now. Just to deliver something of this scale that then functions as a power station for so long, and then to convert it. I often say to people, when you're talking about adaptive reuse, you have to approach it as, what's the building telling you? The building in many ways will dictate what you can do with it, what you can change, what you can't, how you work with it. Yes, there's statute and there's kind of legislation and there's rules, but actually the building itself is a key part of that, because it's such a huge thing and it's so established and so dominant. You can't dictate, it's not the same as starting with a kind of blank piece of paper and trying to decide what you're going to do. You've got to listen to the building and understand it and learn from it and then work with it. I think you almost have to think of it as part of that kind of team in a sense, which sounds crazy, but I think that's the only way you can really both understand it and get the value from these.
What would you have done differently?
I mean, it's really difficult to say what you do differently in a building like this, isn't it? It's so iconic. It's such a huge kind of monumental piece. I mean, I've only been a few times around it, and even just taking it in, I've not quite got my head around how it all stitches together, how the turbine halls join and the kind of geometries. I think just the fact that it has been brought back from absolute dereliction into use is just amazing, and I think in that sense it's one to celebrate.